Hi everyone and welcome to KRYPTALK, that Irish guy that talks about Bitcoin. Let's get the basics out of the way. This is the Kraken chart. These are daily candles and Bitcoin is trading at $57,678. Just going to take a look at a few indicators. The first indicator we're going to take a look at is the EMA ribbon on the daily. Now the EMA ribbon is a collection of moving averages represented here by the yellow and orange and red lines. Typically when Bitcoin is getting support on this in any of the time frames, it tends to be in an uptrend or the price is increasing, and when it's under, the price is decreasing. Now on the daily, we haven't had a close on the daily below the EMA ribbon since the 6th of October. It keeps getting support or bouncing off this EMA ribbon, so it's a good indicator if this price trend is going to increase or not. So we haven't had a daily close underneath the EMA ribbon. Basically one of these red candles hasn't closed or finished the day's trading underneath the EMA ribbon since the 6th of October. Now the second indicator I'm going to take a look at is the RSI, or the Relative Strength Index. It's a number between 0 and 100, and typically the higher it goes towards 100 is a sign that Bitcoin is overbought and a correction is due, and the lower it gets towards 0 is a sign that Bitcoin has bottomed and a price increase could be due. So typically when it's over 70, that's when I get cautious. Like, it doesn't mean it hits 70 in drops. It can go into 70 and 80 before it takes a correction, but that's where I get cautious, and this line here is 70. So at the moment it's 53.9, and that would make sense because what it's doing, it's trading sideways, it's consolidating. It's not having any major pumps to the upsides, but it's also not having any major price decreases or dumps to the downside. So 53 is good. Third indicator is the Bollinger Bands. Again, this is still the daily chart. So if the basis of the Bollinger Band here, which is the red line, Bitcoin is just trading just above that at the moment. So it doesn't look overextended, but again, the same, consolidating. Doesn't look like it's not down here. If it was down here, it'd be kind of in a sell-off. The Bollinger Bands seem to be tightening a bit, because if you look at the difference, say, between the top here and the bottom, that's very wide. Here, that's very wide. So they do tend to be, they kind of seem to be converging a little bit. The fourth indicator is the infamous MACD. Now, I did some shorts on this, some very short videos here, because I noticed there was a bullish cross here where the blue line went above the orange line, and that's usually a sign that you'd expect bigger price gains. So this was actually a fake out. It happened, all the indicators are looking good, but then the price actually dropped and we came down. We had a bearish cross here where the blue line went underneath the orange line, and then they've converged and have actually bounced off each other. Now at the moment they are diverging, so the blue line is under the orange line. Basically it could be a sign it's not making up its mind. That's exactly what's happened. It's trading sideways. Bitcoin doesn't know if it's going to increase or decrease at the moment. It just seems like healthy consolidation. We haven't had any major dumps, but also not getting those major pumps. It has been struggling with the $60,000 level. Now the last indicator we're going to take a look at here is the volume. So if you have the volume profile here, and if you can see here, the volume, the general trend is it's decreasing, and that is a sign that a breakout could be due. It's usually before a breakout happens, you get a decline in volume over time, and then you have your breakout to the upside or the downside. Now the last episode I did was episode number 40, and I did that episode on Sunday the 21st of March, and I was looking at this. I'm just going to zoom in so you can actually take a better look at this. I was looking at this consolidation pattern here, and I said that Bitcoin was going to break out before the Thursday. So I was absolutely bang on about that. I got the time frame right, but I got the direction wrong. I reasoned that Bitcoin, because we're in a bull market and because of the massive amounts of adoption, and it's week after week of great good adoption news. It seems like every time you Google Bitcoin, you see of another company buying millions or billions worth of this. So my reasoning was that, because the trend is your friend in the end, and because we've had basically 12 months of uptrend, and because the fundamentals were looking good, I was leaning towards the upside, but I was wrong about that. It happens. You can't be right all the time in this market. No one's right all the time. You just want to be right the majority of the time. So it broke out to the downside. That episode released on the 21st, Sunday the 21st, and we were trading. This is it was a bearish candle that day, but in around 57. That's kind of where we are now, so it's not much of a difference. So I stand by all of I was wrong about the direction, but I stand by all of the reasons because they're still valid today. And that's why, look, we've put what have we actually done? We put in a low point and a higher low. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this triangle because it's no longer really doesn't really matter at the moment. So what's going on with Bitcoin now? So we have declining volume. We have it's consistently setting higher lows. So if we just take a look at that, you have a low point here, you have a low point here, and you have another, what it's looking like, another higher low there. Now what I'm looking at here is this ascending triangle pattern. So what you have is that low point. Here's a higher low and a higher low, and then you have kind of horizontal resistance. Now look, typically a horizontal resistance, if you look at this point here, you've had a rejection here, you've had like, it went up to its all-time high and came back down again. A lot of kind of resistance around here, drop down here, back up again, and there's a lot of resistance. It seems to be, it can't get out of this box. It seems to be trading in between, what would that be? In between, say, $60,000. Basically, it's struggling with $60,000. So it can't really draw a perfect line to represent the top of this ascending triangle. So it could be wrong because even this is a high point and this is a higher high. So it could be just an ascending channel. So at the moment, from my reading it, is Bitcoin is trading sideways and it's consolidating. And it hasn't decided if it's going to pump to the upside or the downside yet. But for all reasons I stated in the last episode, it's episode number 40. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I'm still leaning towards the upside. When will I actually get bearish though? I mean, when will I decide that, okay, this could be the end of the bull market and we could be going into a bear market? There's two things. The first thing is that if we have a daily close below the EMA ribbon, we haven't had a daily close, one of these red bearish candles close below the EMA ribbon on the daily since the 6th of October. If that happens, that'll be one kind of a red flag for me. The second thing is this line here. This is a support line. And if I just zoom out, I'm just going to get rid of the volume so you can see this better. I'm going to get rid of pretty much everything. Right, I'm going to zoom out. So remember, these are all daily candles. And this line, this trend line, right, the reason I've drawn this is because if I go back to here at the start where I've drawn this, right, what you'll notice is that it was rejected here. I've spoke about this before. I was speaking about this since like back in December. Loads of rejections here, more rejections here, and then eventually on the 26th September, Stephen's Day, Boxing Day, whatever you want to call it, it broke up. Now, since it actually broke up out of that, there's only been one day where it actually broke below it again. And even if you look at all the support that got here, we have candle bodies closing here, we've wicks to the downside here, a lot of resistance around there, sorry, a lot of support around here. Yeah, so basically it flipped this resistance line to support. And ever since then, you know, we've been way off it. We've been way above it. So just to answer the question, I might seem like I'm very biased, and obviously I am Bitcoin bull, I am pro Bitcoin, but I might seem like I'm very biased. But look, I'm trying to be objective. I will kind of get worried or maybe possibly consider that this bull run has come to an end when we have a daily close underneath the EMA ribbon, and if and when Bitcoin breaks this support line. I'm not saying on the day that happens the bull run is definitely finished, but I definitely there'll be two potential red flags. So I hope you got some sort of value out of this short update. If you have, go ahead and click on that like and subscribe button, and as usual, sláinte. Bye 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 bye.